Hi everybody, this is Kyle from Golden Home Fitness, and today we're going to go over ab workouts. So today, core is a very important part of your body. It is your stabilizers. The majority of your workouts requires your abs. So having a strong core is very important. Having a strong core also helps you with your posture. So working on your core is very helpful. If you have issues with your back, some of these workouts might not be the most beneficial for you, but we'll go over that in a little bit later on. But right now, so there are a lot of core or ab workouts, and today we are going to go for quite a few, but there's going to be even more. So we're going to go over each section of your abs at a time. So we're going to start with your upper abs for your first workouts. So most workouts, you're going to be lying on the ground, and let's just start with the most simplest ab workout, the crunch. So everyone knows the crunch, but we'll just go over that quickly here. So we'll start with your on your back flat onto the ground, feet close to your butt. Hands are going to be up at your head, behind your head. You're not going to be pulling up on your head. Your head just going to be rested on your hands. Elbows out to your side, and using your upper abs, lifting yourself up off the ground, upper back off the ground, and back down. All ab workouts should be slow and controlled, breathing throughout, and down. Very simple. This is definitely something that if you have spinal issues, you might not want to bend your spine for these. These are, if you have spine issues, more of a keeping your straight spine is better workouts for yourself. So plank, which we'll be doing later on into this class, I will show you that, which is very helpful for your spine and your core. And then the next, add a little bit more of a difficult part to the crunch is same thing, flat on the back, hands behind your head, elbows out to your side, lifting your legs up off the ground. So your butt will be a little bit off the ground, your knees bent up straight, toes pointed up, and then the rest is the same. Crunch up and down, and down, up and down. So for a ab workout, it's depending if you want to do a ab to just solely focus on your abs, it depends on where you're at in your core abilities. So some people will do ab workouts with repetitions. So you can do maybe 25 reps of a crunch, maybe 100, depending on where you're at. You can do it for time. So you can do 30 seconds of ab workouts, 30 seconds rest, maybe 40 seconds of the ab workout, 20 seconds rest, 45, 15. Do ab workout for a minute and then do a rest for 30. You can do any of these. Maybe you want to do 6 different types of ab workouts, or you can do 8, 10, 15. It all depends on where you're at. Maybe just one. Maybe you are doing other parts of your body and then you need to add a core workout in the middle. You can certainly do that, but it all depends on you. And next, we're going to do the sit up. So it is very similar to the crunch, but it is lifting your body all the way up to your knees. So, same thing at the very beginning, flat back, feet are close to your butt, hands are up at your head, behind your head, elbows out to your side, and then you lift all the way up and then back down. Again, controlled crunches, and then all the way to the sit up, all the way up and back down. Remember to use your core. Sometimes people have the habit of start using their hip flexors. You want to just focus on the core since this is a core workout. Up and down. Make sure your toes are pointed straight out, not inward or out to the side, so you have a straight body. And the next workout, we'll do the straight arm crunch. So there's 2 different ways to do this with your legs. So you can do the same thing that we've been doing with the other workouts is your feet are close to your butt. And this time, instead of your hands behind your head, your hands are going to be up straight. So you have them top of each other, straight out. It's a little bit more of a difficult crunch here, where you're lifting a little bit more weight up top. Your body of weight when you're up is a little bit higher up, so it's a little bit more difficult on your core. And the other way you can do this is your body perfectly straight. So your legs are going to be out straight, feet down, arms out straight, and the crunch. So you kind of look like a pencil when you're doing these. For all these crunches, all you really need to do is just lift your shoulders up off the ground using your abs, and that is sufficient for these types of crunches. All right. The next, like I discussed before, you want to avoid using your hip flexors. So these next couple of crunches we're going to do is going to take these out of the picture completely, so you can't even use your hip flexors to do the crunch. So the first thing you can do is have your feet together. So it's almost like you're stepping on each other's foot. Your knees are going to be out to your side. So your hip flexors can't even be used to use this crunch, so you have to solely use your abs for this crunch. So again, hands behind your head, elbows out to your side, back flat onto the ground, and crunch. And if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can also do the crisscross with your legs. So just like what you learn as a kindergartner, with your feet underneath you, and flat back, and crunch. Okay, now the next thing we can do is work on one side compared to the other. So it is same thing with the same type of crunch, where your feet are going to be up to you, up close to your butt. Actually, one leg will be. The other leg will be crossed over your other knee. So the next step is same thing with your hands behind your head, elbows to your side, and you're going to be thinking quite a bit about your elbow here because you're going to be crunching to the side, where let's start with I'll say my left side up to my right knee. So this will be focusing on my upper abs on my left side. Your obliques might be used a little bit on this as well, up to the side. So you're really thinking about lifting that left shoulder off the ground. To the side. And then, of course, doing it for your other leg as well. So this is great to focus on one side. So if one side's stronger than the other, you can just focus on that side to even out your body. Or if you don't even want to lift your legs or can't lift your legs, you can just do this with your feet onto the ground, feet close to your butt, and crunch the side. And the other. Another thing some people use is a stability ball. Makes it a little bit more difficult for a crunch. So if you have one of these, this can work well. This is something you also have a secondary thing to worry about when you're doing stability ball crunches, is making sure that your back is not curved back. As the ball is round, some people might have the habit of overextending their back, which is not very good. So once you're down on the ground, you want to really think about, or down at the end of the crunch, really think about making sure that your spine is nice and straight. So have yourself lean back onto the ball, feet down, flat on the ground for nice stability. It makes it a little more of a challenge since you are moving from side to side. And then the rest is the same, where your hands are behind your head, elbows to your side. Remember to straight spine and crunch. Roll myself off. And that's just an added item that you can do to make your crunches a little bit more difficult, or just to change things up in your core workout. The next thing we're going to work on is your lower abs. So this one's going to be a lot more of leg movement. So when you're working on your upper abs, your upper body is going to be moving a bit. Then when you're working on your lower abs, you're going to be focusing on moving your your legs to really activate that part of your abs. So we'll start with the reverse crunch. So back flat on the ground, knees close to your butt or up, arms to your side, and then using your lower abs to lift your legs up towards you and back down. Lift your legs up and down. Remember, nice controlled movements. Relax. And then the next one is a very similar movement, the crunch kick, reverse crunch kick. Well, we'll start with the legs up, like in the middle of the reverse crunch. Instead of going all the way down, you're going to kick your legs out. It's a bit more difficult. And back in. Kick your legs out. Knees back in close to your body. The next thing we're going to work on is the scissor kick. This is another very popular one. There's a few ways to do this one. So we'll start just with the regular scissor kick, where your legs are going to, your whole body is going to be nice and straight out, arms to your side. You're going to lift your legs off the ground and just kick. You can have small kicks, big kicks. And if you're more of a beginner, you can put your hands under your butt to make sure that your back is flat on the ground. It might be a little bit easier to do the kicks. So if you want to work on more of your entire abs, what you'll want to do is actually then lift your head up off the ground. You don't want to bend your neck or anything like that, but lifting your head up, shoulders up a little bit more, and these scissor kicks will not just activate your lower abs, but you'll also be using upper abs as well. A little bit more of a challenge. Then the next thing we're going to do is that was the flutter kick. Next thing that was the flutter kick. Now we'll do the scissor kick here, where the scissor kick, the flutter kick is kicking up and down. The scissor kick is kicking from side to side. It's very similar movement beyond that point, where you can have your hands to your side, legs up, and scissor kicking in and out. Again, if you're newer at this and need more help with your back flat on the ground, put your hands underneath your butt and kick from side to side. But at the same time, if you want more of a challenge or want to work more of your upper abs along with your lower abs, lift your head up off the ground. Still a straight back. And that is the scissor kick. The next one is called pulse ups, where you're going to be flat back, all these flat back on the ground to start. Might want to have help with your hands underneath your butt. If you want to be more, if you are more of a beginner, you need help, but your legs will be up straight into the sky, and then you're going to lift your legs up higher and back down. It's a much smaller movement, but you're just lifting your legs up, straight up, and back down. That one is definitely, I'd say, a little bit more of a difficult, more of a advanced movement there. So let's take a step back and do a little bit of an easier movement. So these are, we call these the wipers. So let's do the simplest version of this. Back flat on the ground, your feet up close to your butt, knees bent, and you're going to have your arms to your side, out like a T, palms facing up. And you're going to have your allow legs, your knees to go down to the ground to one side, lift it back up, and then back down to the other side. Keep your knees together. Your shoulders won't be lifting off the ground. They're going to be flat on the ground. So rotate as far as you can go. Some can rotate a bit further than others. And in this workout, you will be working a little bit more on the obliques. Now, to add a little bit more of a challenge to this, is now lifting your feet off the ground, knees still bent, and now you have more range of motion to rotate. Have a challenge of your feet off the ground, more weight. Now, if you're having trouble keeping your knees together, you can use some items like maybe you have a towel, whatever it is you might have lying around, a pillow. Put that between your legs and just make sure that it doesn't fall out. It'll stay right there. Now, one more advanced thing you can do with this is having your legs up straight. So this is the most advanced part of this. Legs straight adds quite a bit more weight. Those are 3 different versions of the wipers. Next is the lower back pushdown. So this one's much slower on movement and more of a stabilized ab workout, where again you can have your hands under your butt if you need more help, or out to your side if you're able to. What you do is you start with your legs out straight and up above you. And for this, you're actually going to lower your legs slowly to the ground. So this depends on how long you plan on doing this for. So let's say if you want to do this for 45 seconds, by the time you get close to the ground, it'll be 45 seconds. So you're just going to lower it slowly. The range of up top to the bottom is dependent on your back. So your back will be touching the ground the entire time. So if you start to curve up, that is your range of motion, your maximum range of motion. So you can see it slowly lowering it to the ground. All right. And then the final one with the lower abs, this is a movement that will also affect a little bit of your obliques, maybe a little bit of your upper abs as well. But it's the same thing with your legs are going to be straight up, and you're going to be rotating. You can do start clockwise or counterclockwise. You can do either direction. So again, your hands can be either under your butt or out to your side, depending on you and what your ability is at. But legs out straight, and you're going to just rotate around like a big circle. Imagine something is right above you, and you're circling it around with your feet. So after you do one way for however long you plan on doing, rotate the other direction. And relax. I'm going to always have some water, because I need some water at this moment. One thing I forgot at the beginning with crunches is you can use a weight, whatever weight you have, a kettlebell or whatever, usually a much lighter weight, but it is something that might be help you advance your crunches, make it a little bit more difficult. You want to make sure that whatever you're holding the weight, it's going to be just as far away from your body through the entire motion. You don't want to kick your hands out straight. That'll be using the weight to help you with the crunch, so you won't get much out of it. There's also ways to make it more difficult along with the crunch. So if it's close to your chest and you're crunching, it's a little bit more difficult than regular crunch. But there are more other ways to make it more advanced, like when I had my arms out straight, I'm in above your head, the weight higher up, it makes it more difficult to crunch, but you're more apt to kick that weight out to help you with the crunch. All right, the next thing we're actually going to do is work on the butt. The glutes and the core is attached together, so working on the butts will certainly help your core. Many of these butt workouts we're going to go over is actually using your core quite a bit. So it is very helpful to add the glute workouts along with your core, since you will be using your core and strengthening it. So the first core workout is called the bridge. It's a very popular workout for the butt. Very simple. Some might use it as warm-up for activating your butt. But all you're doing is starting just the same way that you start a crunch. Your feet are going to be close to your butt, back flat on the ground, arms to your side, and then you're going to use your butt to lift that up off the ground. So you're going to squeeze, and your core is actually going to be very tight as well. So make sure that your abs and back is nice and straight off the ground, and then you can relax. Up off the ground, squeeze your butt, back down. And if you want to make it a little more challenging, you can hold it up off the ground. So you can hold it for however long you want. So glutes are tight. That's how I'm lifting myself off the ground here. But my core and back is also tight. Relax. Make it more challenging is one leg at a time. So have you lift your leg up, squeeze your glute, and relax. Of course, do the other side, or if one side is strong on the other, focus on the weaker side, or do the weaker side first. Make sure you have proper technique when doing it. Other ways you can use the bridge to make it more challenging is if you have a chair or something higher up, you can have your legs up top there, so it will be a different bridge, or you can use a stability ball. You're going to have your knees bent and squeeze your glute, so it is a bit more challenging. Again, another advanced move is having one leg at a time. It is definitely a little more challenging. I am pretty tired right now, so I'm not going to do that, but you know the basic idea of one leg at a time. The next butt workout is called the bird dog. So you've probably seen this quite a bit as well, where you're going to actually be up on your stomach or more on your stomach side. So your knees are going to be above your hips, your toes into the ground, your hands are going to be below your shoulders, and then one leg and one arm at a time, the opposite arm with the opposite leg. So I'm going to do my left arm with my right leg, where my left arm goes out, my right leg kicks back, kick back to the ground, and then back down, and then swap sides. So you're going to be using your glute really to activate that, to lift your leg up, and remember a nice tight core as well. This includes a core workout. Nice straight back, looking straight at the ground. I know I'm turning my head to look at the camera, but that's just to make sure that I'm looking at the camera. And relax. And then the next thing we're going to do is more focusing on the kick itself, the donkey kick. So again, same position, knees below your hips, hands below your shoulders. This time we're just going to be kicking with our legs. Nice straight back, tight core, and then kick up off the ground and back down. The opposite leg, kick up. Your knee is going to be bent throughout the entire movement. And down. Really activate those glutes to kick that butt up, to kick that leg up. Back down. And those are just a few glute workouts you can add along with your core exercise. Or if you just want to focus on your glutes, those are great workouts as well. So now let's focus on the entire core together. We did that a little bit with the scissor kick and flutter kick when you're lifting your head, but these are movements that will, or lack of movement, but still activating your core. So a plank, very popular workout. Is, like I said before, if you're having back issues, this is a great workout to make sure that you are exercise your core with a straight back without bending your back. So let's just start with a simple plank with your elbows. So your elbows are going to be below your shoulders. Activate your core. Squeeze your glutes. Straight back. So again, even though the glutes are not really considered part of the core, it's very important to have strong glutes along with your core. And doing this for however long you plan on doing it for 30 seconds, a minute, minute 30, 2 minutes, wherever level you are at. And then the next, to add a little bit more onto the plank, start with the position and have one leg go out to your side and then back down into the middle, and then the other leg. Adds a little bit more of a challenge, adds a little bit of something to your plank if you get a little bored. And there's also the Spider-Man, where you're going to kick your knee up to your side and back down. It's a little even more difficult. And then there's also the leg lift as well. So instead of the side, you're lifting it straight up, back down, and then to the other leg. Back down. And there's also a roll, so this will get your obliques working a bit more, where you're going to roll your hips in and roll back around. So your body is going to be looking from side to side. And then those are a few of the plank techniques with your elbows. There's also the planks with your arms out straight. So not only is your elbows under your shoulders, but so is your hands out straight, and planking. So you're a bit higher up, and there's a few other things you can do along with this. So again, you can lift your legs up from side to side. Spider-Mans, the roll, and a few more where you're going to be legs. To stabilize yourself a little bit further apart, you're going to tap your shoulders with one arm. So my left arm will tap my right shoulder, back down. My right arm will tap my left shoulder. Adds a little bit of challenge there. Then another challenge is tapping your foot. As you bring your foot in, opposite foot with opposite arm, tap your foot. And then another thing you can do with the straight arms is a star plank, where your hands are going to be farther out, feet farther out, so you're nice and wide. Those are plenty of ways to mix up your plank. We will go back to the plank in a little bit, but we have a few other exercises for that. All right. Next is called the hollow hold. So again, we're going to go back onto our back. Legs down, out straight. Your arms are going to be up above your head, and you're going to be lifting both your legs and arms up off the ground. So as the name suggests, you're holding it. You're really focusing on that entire core to lift your entire body up. One more challenge. Have your arms go down to your side, one arm down, back up, to the other side. That's the hollow hold. And very similar to the hollow hold is V-ups. So these, you'll be lifting your body up even further off the ground, but you're going to not hold it, you're just going to go back down. Arms up straight, legs out straight. So it's kind of a combined version of straight arm crunches along with lifting your legs up. So this is definitely much more of an advanced ab workout, but it is a full body, full ab workout, lifting up, back down. Straight legs and straight arms the entire time. Your entire ab will be worked out in this. And then there are rowing rows, where the beginning is actually you're going to be leaning up here. Feet close to yourself, close to your butt. Arms are going to be out in front of you. Straight back. This is definitely something that you need to focus on having a straight back throughout, where as it's going to imagine yourself rowing on a boat. Rowing a boat from both using both your arms. So up straight, down, and up. And those are some rows. Now we're going to start, the next section is going to be focusing on the obliques. As I mentioned before, a lot of these workouts, we have worked our obliques. I did section them off from each section of your abs, but as you can see, as I add a few different things, they will be working on different sections of your core as well. So these might be sectioned off in a certain way, but there are many ways with each exercise to be able to activate each section of your core. So one of the most common ab workouts you'll see is Russian twists. So feet out in front of you, maybe knees bent a little bit. Similar with the rowing, you want to make sure that you have a straight back. Your arm is going to be up by your chest, and you're going to twist to one side, then twist to the other. Where you want to focus on your twist is your shoulders. If you're able to twist your shoulders far back, or maybe your elbow are far back behind you to get that range of motion. This is also something you can use with weights. Have a dumbbell or something in front of you for added difficulty. And then the next thing we do is a side crunch. So you'll be lying on your side. Your knees are going to be stacked up on top of each other. And it's just going to be a crunch to one side. So crunch up. Use those obliques to move up. If you need to work on one side or the other more, you can certainly, this is another exercise to do. And then, of course, do the other side as well. Knees stacked up on top of each other, curled up, and crunch to your side. All right, now we're going to go back to the planks, but we're going to work on one side at a time. So, start with an elbow plank. So, you're just going to be on your side, one arm down, legs out straight, stacked up on top of each other. If you need help, you can certainly have your legs kind of crisscross a little bit, but more advanced, having that leg straight, having those legs stacked up on top of each other. And to add a little bit more difficulty, lifting your legs up off the ground, back down, ground, down. And then another move you can do to add a little bit more of your core is reach underneath you. Have that opposite arm reach behind you, straight back, holding your core. Another move you can do is the dips. So you're going to dip your hip down, back up, down, and up. Again, another way to mix it up is reach back, lift your arm up, and then do a dip. Do that again. Reach back, arm up, and dip. And of course, on the opposite side as well. So with the opposite side, I'm actually going to do it with a straight arm. So another way to do these is a straight arm plank, side plank. Again, lift your leg up, add a little challenge, dips, reach behind you, many different ways to add difficulty onto it. Another thing you can do with this straight arm is having a crunch in there as well. So your top leg is actually going to be the one on the ground, and the bottom leg will be lifted up towards you as you crunch towards it. Many different ways to do planks. Now here's another one where it's much simpler movement, not as advanced. Again, back flat on the ground, feet close to your butt, knees up, and you'll be tapping your toes. You just from side to side. And another thing we do is standing. This is going to be one of the only standing exercise that we do for your abs, but it is a very easy one. So if you're just starting out working on your abs, this is a great one to do. Is hands up by your side, standing up, and your knee, twisting. Use that core, keep your back straight, twist from side to side. All right. Finally, next thing we're going to discuss with the obliques is the dead bug. So the starting position is your knees up high, knees bent. Your legs, your arms are going to be straight up above you. Your arms, your hands above your shoulders. Then one arm and one leg at a time. The opposite side. So let's say my left leg is going to go out straight. Right arm goes down as low to the ground as possible. And then back up and to the other side. Whenever you need to, make sure you get water. Now the final section we're going to work on is the back. So again, like I mentioned before, depending on if you have any back issues, you might not want to do these, but if you're able to do these, you can work on your lower back as it is part of your core. Many of these workouts we did is back workouts, so anytime like the rowing or the Russian twist, that will work your lower back, as it is a challenge to keep that back upright and straight. So for this, maybe to go up the swimmer, you can be on your stomach, arms out straight. So you're going to be lifting one leg and one arm at a time, the opposite leg with opposite arm. So if you're doing the left leg, you can do right arm, lift it up, using your back, tighten your lower back and lower back down. Same thing with the other leg and other arm. And then the Superman, the probably one, instead of having opposite arm and opposite legs, you're going to use both your arms and your legs at the same time. So it's a little bit more of a challenge to the swimmer. Going to get master the swimmer first before you do Superman, where you lift your legs and arms up off the ground. Depending on what you're doing, you can hold it or do repetitions of these. Rise up, back down, up, and back down. Make sure to have your neck straight for these. You don't want to be turning your neck. You don't want to be having your chin to your chest or looking up too high. You want to be nice and straight. Another thing you can do is having your hands underneath your chin. Maybe this will help you not lift your chin up for the position, or makes it a little bit easier. So just lift up from the ground, back down. And then finally, something is the Cobra. So before your arms are out in front of you, this time your arms are below you. So arms low and up again. Same thing, if you want to hold it, or if you want repetitions, or sporadic. That adds a little bit more of a challenge. But those are a number of different ab workouts that works out your entire ab, different ways to challenge yourself, beginner, advanced, so many different ways to work out your abs. But if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us. But that is my coaching on the abs. So thank you very much for joining me, and have a great day.